20 kilometres for the first stage this morning, Prangli, and it is our former world champions, Sebastian Ogier and Julian Ingrassia, who kick us off this morning, our championship leaders, as we head into Rally Estonia. Here we go then. How long have we waited to see the cars in action, flying through the forest stages? And what a challenge this first stage is. You have to have full commitment in here and full confidence. It's flat out from the start. There are various sections where we've seen over the years, and remember, Rally Estonia has been running for 10 years in total, where we've seen some big incidents. So the guys have to be as committed as possible, but also with that air of safety about it, which is really difficult at a rally quite like this. To come back in after 6 months off into such a high-speed event, what a challenge it is. Brilliant start for Ogier and Ingrassia last night, then on a very short stage. But here we're getting our first visual of the Prangli stage. See how narrow it is in sections, but how incredibly quick. Now, we have had quite a bit of rain in the area, certainly on Thursday, which was day 2 of the recce. That little section there, the chicane, just to slow them down, slow the speeds down a little. So these stages got absolutely drenched during the recce. Some of the drivers even stopped on the recce because the rain was so heavy there was just standing water in places. It was pretty dry yesterday. It will dry out, but it will still be slightly damp in sections. The opening split is in for us. Ooh. And that's Elvin, faster than Ogier by 0.3 of a second. It is going to be fascinating to see here. I mean, you said it this morning, Oitanak's got a target on his back. I liked that line this morning. He has. Everyone is looking to Tanak here as the favourite. Home advantage, of course. He's won here twice before. So it is going to be, everyone is going to be looking at him, but is it going to be him? At the end of this opening stage this morning, who is going to be leading?
I mean, just looking at the commitment there from Elvin and Scott, wow. But and it's a huge wake-up call this morning. Elvin's normally, his eyes are on stalks. I think even more so for these drivers, because we keep mentioning it, because it's such an unprecedented season. They normally have a maximum of 6 weeks between the last rally of the season, or 8 weeks between the last rally season and the start of the next one. But they've had 6 months. I know they've been testing and they've been doing odd little rallies.
It's nothing like being at competition right to the sharp end in these cars. And yeah, they have done smaller rallies, and I mentioned briefly that a lot of them have done the Luna Ester rally, which we saw just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, we're in the field.
Just a little. That's
but
Ogier.
I got a feeling that is. In their pace notes, it wouldn't be use the field, but you can run wide, because there was quite a few tracks in there. So the zero cars have been in the field as well.
We're with Neuville now, who's also passed the opening split. You can see on your screens there, setting exactly the same pace as Elvin Evans out there this morning. So already it's a better start from him. Already
a better start, but reflecting on what Esa-Pekka Lappi was saying, when the stages are so fast and flowing, the time gaps are very minimal.
Yeah.
You mentioned the rain and whether that had dampened the road conditions. It obviously has helped. It's not as disastrous as it had been if it had been sunny for the last 4 or 5 days. So Ogier not at such a disadvantage, but he's just losing maybe 1/10 of a second per kilometre.
There we go, Ogier and Ingrassia through the first forest stage of Rally Estonia. 9:56.1 is the time. Now, Rovanpera is setting some pace. We've talked about the fact that, what is he going to pull this weekend? What kind of surprise could we see from Rovanpera? Right now, he is quickest at the second split of this stage. He told me back in Finland when we were at the Neste Rally Finland esports event that this is his best opportunity to try and get a win on the board this year.
I believe that, and I think if we'd had our normal season, he'd have been favourite going to Finland, which is a really bizarre thing for someone so young, not just in his career, but young overall, that the general experience. I know Esa-Pekka Lappi won his 4th World Rally in a World Rally car, but he'd done 2 years of WRC
It's
too.
difficult to be really on the limits. Grip is okay, but not mega, so yeah, let's see.
I don't think I've ever heard Ogier say mega before.
I know!
That's something that's developed over lockdown, maybe.
Middle of a long crest of medium, flat right maybe.
In comparison to Ogier's 1.3 seconds quicker at 17 kilometres.
Just look at the focus and the determination.
Yeah, the way he drives as well, you know, everyone's got a different style. The way they hold themselves in the car, he literally is on top of that steering wheel, isn't he?
It is very Francois Delacour-like from the early 90s of just come on.
Yeah, if his position could speak, that's what it would say, Julian. 1.9 quicker than Ogier, then 9:54.2 is the time for Elfyn Evans and Scott Martin through there. What a stage to get the championship back underway. Full confidence, full commitment needed. Neuville, let's take a look at him in comparison to Ogier and Evans. He is fractionally quicker than Evans, 0.2 of a second up at the final split. But a much better start than what we saw last night on that super special stage. But he was well aware that things were never going to go right. The setup just wasn't right.
Yeah, he understeered into the first proper corner, didn't he? Then he had oversteered into another one.
It was brilliant to look at,
Yeah.
I have to say. It was dramatic. We enjoyed it.
Wow. We did now take a bit of a ride up the bank on the inside there.
So it's a 9:55.6. Our current world champions then, Oitanak Martin Järveoja, driving at home here in Estonia and fastest so far, according to the splits. They are the favourites, of course, and they are going to give it absolutely everything this weekend to make sure the win is theirs. But how much pressure are they going to have from behind? Some considerable pressure by the looks of things.
The commitment and the speed just from all of them. Dear me.
It's fantastic. I'm loving it.
It looks like the second apex of the corner is further out than the first one. So they take the first one and hope they're going to jump far enough to clear the second one, and Neuville didn't.
It is the fastest time on the board so far then for our teenage sensation, as Abby has been calling him this morning. 9:52.1 is the time for Kalle Rovanpera and Jone Halttunen. Great start to their morning. That is going to be a massive confidence builder as we now head to M Sport Ford and to Teemu Suninen, Jarmo Lehtinen. A little bit of an incident for them yesterday at Shakedown, which was swiftly rectified by the mechanics back at base. Oh, Teemu Suninen just hooking a wheel there into the ditch.
He didn't hook the front left in.
It was the rear, wasn't it?
Yeah, he didn't hook the front left in on the left-hander. He ran out onto the loose, which then put him wide on the exit of the corner. That went wrong. He didn't get the car hooked in enough on the dip.
Huge jump. And this final sector of stage.
You're slower.
He is.
He's had a moment.
A good bit
He's
slower.
had a moment somewhere, hasn't he? He's dropped something, or his gearbox has got a very short last gear.
Yeah, 2.8 seconds slower than Rovanpera when he was 0.3 up at the final split. That final sector of stage has caught him out somewhere. We switch to Takamoto Katsuta. Keen to continue the learning curve here. He has been in Estonia 2 times already, but he's only done roughly 20 competitive kilometres. across those two occasions. First time it was an accident, second time, which was last year, it was a heavy landing after a jump. He damaged the cooling system of the car, the radiator, and it was game over. That's final split. You can see.
Yeah,
on
you
the
see,
screen.
Tanak was up on that final split.
Yeah.
Then dropped it. So that just tells me that maybe their 6-gear ratio isn't as long, and the top speed isn't as high. You see, he's had this same moment of New Phil. It's a double apex, but the second apex is further out. They take off thinking they're going to jump past the second apex, but they're not. He's smiling anyway.
It's a cheeky little laugh. 10:01.8 is the time for Lappi then. That is 9.7 seconds slower than Rovanpera. The man who does have experience here in Estonia then, Craig Breen, 4 times here previously. I'm really keen to get into action. He likes the fast rallies. I mean, who doesn't out there from a rally driving perspective? It's looking like a good start. He's setting equal pace to Thierry Neuville.
Yeah, I was expecting it to fly far away, and so I had quite a green line, but well, all fine.
Breen just 1.2 seconds off the pace of Rovanpera at 17 Ks. Let's see how he does in this final sector as well, which has been fascinating, just over the jump there.
And here we're coming into this, here's this double left-hander. We're through it all right, you see there. That's not a bad run, that is not bad.
Good start then for Craig and Paul. 1.3 seconds behind Rovanpera.
That'll do.
Paul reassuring Craig. He did well.
Craig must have said something. I'm not sure what that was like. He'd be quite pleased, I think, when he gets to see the time, won't he?
I think he will. He's 0.3 of a second off Rovanpera in the overall classifications. Right now, Rovanpera leads the rally over Breen, then Evans. As we switch to Pierre-Louis Loubet in a World Rally car for our WRC2 champion from last year. What an incredible prospect ahead of him.
Yeah, he was asked, what's it like? It just does everything you want it to do.
Hey, Craig, second fastest.
Nice as some car, holy Jesus. It's just incredible, and I think we don't shout on enough about the development and the people behind the scenes that make cars like this, but what you can do with this car in roads like that is something that you can't even imagine in your wildest dreams. So an absolute honour, and I mean an honour just to be steering the yoke. I'm on top of the world.
An honour to be steering the yoke. Yoke meaning car.
Yeah.
She's some car. That's a great quote, and obviously a very happy Craig Breen there at the end of the stage. That's a good start to the morning. It's been a great start by many drivers out there, has to be said.
Giving credit, obviously, as well to the engineers who designed this car, all the aero we've been talking about.
So there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and a lot of teams keep a lot to themselves about how much work they're doing, what they're changing. But there's so much work; it's constant. There's never an off season for the guys behind the scenes. They are flat out all the time, trying to improve things, developing various areas of the car. So it's nice to hear Craig pay tribute to their work. We're back with Pierre-Louis now. He's approaching final split. He's a good bit down on Rovanpera. This is what we're going to expect. This is his first time competing in a World Rally car at a WRC event. This is going to be such a huge learning curve for him this weekend, Julian.
He's probably got to the end of that stage and thought, oh my word.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the stage classification then. It is Rovanpera who is leading right now. Brilliant opening stage from Calais and from Iona, and it is 1.3 seconds. The advantage over Craig Breen. Craig's co-driver Paul Nagel telling him, well done, good stage through there. He looked like he needed a little bit of a confidence boost. That was a great performance as well. Elvin Evans in third position overall. 1.3 seconds from Elvin to Rovanpera. It's 3/10 from Breen to Rovanpera. So it's incredibly close, and you can see the jump around from obviously last night's stages.
34 right sharp, middle, into